Welcome back, everybody, to Tokusatsu Girlfriend. I'm your host, Squall Charlson.
Hi, I'm Laur, your Tokusatsu girlfriend.
And we, wow, this is the last episode of season 1.
I know, I can't believe it.
We just finished episode 47, and there's one more to go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to get too far into it. So let's just start it off with the episode recaps, and then we can just unload into everything at the end of it. Because I have a little surprise we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. So this is the last 8 episodes, 41 to 48.
Sounds about right.
Well, what was the first episode?
First episode was Tachibana, training with Tachibana, which was I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk about it without laughing. I just think Tachibana is such a ridiculous character. Just like we said, they were training with Tachibana, and then we find out in the middle of training that Tachibana is Virgo.
Professor Emoto as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's like levels to that deceit.
After all the jetpack trickery.
Right.
Try to break this pot if you may.
And I thought that it was going to be something devious, like when he breaks the pot, it's connected to someone and then they die or something like that. That didn't happen.
Well, it did have like Meteor's logo on it. Like Ryusei could have died.
Yeah, I know. See, and I was thinking, oh no, like why does he want him to break this pot? It's got to be connected to someone, and then they're gonna die, and Gen's gonna be like, I can't believe I just did that. But that didn't happen. So. And
even after the reveal, like in the next episode, they're like, Gen, where are you going? He's like, I'm off to go train some more. I'm gonna go buddy the fuck out of him. And
I was just like, that's so Gen. Like, he was like, I'm gonna be his buddy, and I'm just like. Oh, it's so you. I can't be upset, but come on. He's a bad guy, questionably.
Yeah, but it worked out for the best.
It did. And I was very happy about that Virgo was actually like a double agent sort of thing.
There was a set of novels that were released, I want to say like 5 years ago. Some of them have been translated, some of them haven't. But in the Fourze one, it's sort of like graduation day, and you find out like the specifics of the Dark Nebula. I use quotes there.
Okay.
Because when he was using Dark Nebula, he was actually just putting them on the MBUS satellite. Yeah. So you kind of get a little bit more of that. But you find out that he's good, that he was just putting these people to sleep and storing them in his satellite room.
Oh my gosh.
Which is really weird to think about. But the biggest part of this episode, other than Virgo turning around, becoming...
A good guy.
He's been a good guy. He's been a double agent since the beginning.
I just needed, when Gam was like, you just needed friends to help you fight, didn't you? And I was just like, oh my God.
Well, didn't he say friendship is my buddy in that episode too?
He did. I'm pretty sure it's that one. He said it in some of this arc that we just watched. He was like, friendship is my buddy. And I'm like, that's the most Gintaro thing you have ever said. That's him. That's like, if you want to sum Gintaro up in a sentence,
that's it.
Friendship is my buddy. And I'm just like, get out of here. You're too perfect.
So what happened at the very end? We had a reveal of a very major character and his form.
Sagittarius? Yes. Okay, I was trying to remember.
Shot through the heart.
Oh, yeah. So that was a thing that happened.
Died there. After getting beat up by Libra.
That was so sad. And he was like, it's okay because I have friends. Yeah. And then I cried more, and I was just like, I can't handle this. This is too much for my little Pisces heart.
That was pretty much it. And then it kind of like, oddly enough, it segued away from that really emotional like release of those episodes with Virgo and Virgo's end to Gemini. Yeah. With Yuki.
Yes.
So tell us about that one.
So, Yuki is Gemini, which I was like I kind of liked that whole story arc, how they were like, we're going to make one of the members of Kamen Rider Club. Right. One of the Zodiarts. Maybe like when we first started watching it and I didn't really know the characters too well, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to do that. And then I forgot about that. And then they brought it back. And I was just like, oh, I'm so here for the storyline. This is like really new and fresh or whatever. So I really liked that.
It's interesting if you think about it, because like everybody that Gentaro helped had a friend, a best friend that was affected by the switches. Yeah. So with Shun, it was, well, maybe not a best friend, but he was on the football team.
A close friend, a colleague.
Miu was like one of her mean girl posse friends. You had JK, who had, like one of his friends was going with that. And then Tomo had a friend like that too. Mm-hmm. And you could even say that Kengo was affected by the switches as well. The only person that wasn't was Yuki.
Yeah.
And so Yuki's directly at the end of the show now a member of this. And of course, she's like one of the most powerful ones. Mm-hmm. And it created a clone, a twin.
It did, which I am, again, here for. I know you guys are probably getting super tired of the astrology talks, but I love it because Gemini, as I'm sure even if you didn't know, you probably found out after this episode, Gemini is the twin horoscope. Mm-hmm. And I really like how they are actually like drawing on the actual like lore of the horoscope, like the actual horoscope, to give them their powers and things like that. Like Sagittarius is known as the archer. Yeah. And
you even noticed something with was it Libra with her hair?
Virgo. No, it's Virgo.
Yeah,
because,
I keep saying Libra.
All the horoscopes, talking about the actual ones, not the villains from
Have like
Fourze.
A symbol. Have like a
there's a planetary symbol associated with each star sign. And I was at work the other day, and one of our parents that was in court had a tattoo of the symbol of Virgo. And that's when I realized that it has kind of like a swoopy little end to it, which is reminiscent of Virgo, the villain, the Zodiart.
Windswept hair.
Yeah, the hair. It's a direct like kind of nod to Virgo's symbol. And so I got really excited sitting there in court. Like I wanted to immediately start taking notes about like how all the different ways that their costumes reflect the actual.
That might be a good video.
I would like to do that, but I don't know if anyone else would be as interested in the fashion of Tokusatsu. So
you never know. It's weird. Like I post something that you think everybody would want to watch, and it gets like 1,000 views, and then you post something that's like, oh, this is stupid. It took me 10 minutes, and it gets like 20,000 views. And you're like, well,
I was very excited. I was extremely excited to make that connection and be like, oh, even Virgo's swoopy hair is a nod to the actual horoscope symbol of Virgo. So there's a lot of stuff like that, and I really like that. So even with Gemini, the horoscope, the Zodiart, being a twin, and that's the whole premise of it, is that Yuki now has a twin. There's a good side and a bad side.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, exactly. It's very obviously a nod to the actual horoscope, the twin horoscope of Gemini. So I really liked that, and I really liked how they did the whole whoever's the more predominant one is the one that takes the place, and the other one's going to vanish. Even down, because first I was like, well, obviously the bad Yuki started out with like that really weird mask face,
that Michael Myers-esque mask.
So I was like, well, this isn't going to be hard for real Yuki to prove that that's the imposter, because she's got that weirdo face, like obviously. But then the more
it started swapping,
the more the change started taking effect, the more, change we saw in real Yuki, where like suddenly she had the weirdo mask face and everything like that. So I liked that, because I kind of was like, well, how are they going to do that? Obviously all Yuki has to do is be like, that's the imposter. She's got this weirdo face. But then,
and that's kind of what bad Yuki did once the scales started tipping in her favor.
Exactly. So
they're just beating the shit out of real Yuki.
I felt so bad. I was like, stop it. I was like, Gen, you're so stupid.
You're all so
stupid. Yeah, and I even think I said something like, because I don't think Ryusei was there for that.
No, he got injured because she can create a twin that explodes, and Tomo is watching over him.
Oh yeah, that's when they're kind of like going even harder on the Tomo Ryusei.
The very end of the episode really kind of put the nail in the coffin for him.
But I like it. I'm here for it. Yeah. Go you, Tomo. Like, get it, girl.
You were saying too that like Ryusei Meteor's sort of fashion has really hit like a GQ.
He has embraced his GQ.
He's really well dressed.
He is well dressed. He's
got out of that stupid tan one suit.
Yeah.
Now he's just like, this is how I always dress.
Yeah, he's embracing his GQ side, and quite frankly, I'm here for it. Like, and I'm here for it on Tomo's behalf. Like, girl, get it.
So the big part of the episode was that Gen didn't remember this thing that Yuki was talking about, like the tickets.
And that kind of surprised me. There were a lot of, I understand why Yuki was upset, like when she ran away from the rabbit Hutch originally, because he said something about her having a sibling, and she was like, I'm an only child. You keep forgetting important things about me. And I get that. I feel that. So I definitely understood why Yuki ran away. And I was kind of surprised with Gen because...
Took him that long to figure out the first promise he ever made to a friend.
Right.
Was that he was going to get her to space any way he could.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really surprised, especially because I feel like Yuki is his first friend and his best friend.
Definitely. Same with her, too.
So I was really kind of surprised. And dare I say, for the first time, I was kind of disappointed in Gen.
I think it makes him a little more human.
It does. It really does.
He's too perfect. Like, in a sense, not like in a bad sense, but he is like the epitome of what I feel like people want to be considered with their friends. They want someone who's very compassionate, who's very all-knowing, and is willing to be a buddy through thick and thin. And sometimes Gen can't be perfect. And it's like, you realize like how long ago that was too. He's had so much go on. Same with Yuki.
Yeah.
But it was still really cute for him to like relive that moment, to kind of come back to terms with where it started and where he wanted to befriend everybody. He wanted to help everybody like he was going to help Yuki.
Right.
And it was really nice to kind of see that, because I know we watched, like a couple nights ago, we watched the first episode again. We put it on in the background. And the part where like he gets into the classroom and he's, for the first time, he's like, "Oh, Yuki!" and like they're super excited, like, "Oh, again."
Yeah,
and then you see that, and it's like, oh, it really kind of comes full circle.
Yeah, oh, you took the words literally right out of my mouth.
But yeah, and that's basically how they save her in the end. Is he remembers, he finds the ticket she made for him to take him to space.
And it was an adorable ticket, by the way. That was so cute.
I know. And then she made one for everybody after they saved her.
I know.
The Ryusei Tomo.
She's all like, Tomo's like,
tickets.
It's a couple's ticket.
Like, Ryusei's like, okay.
He's like, all right, okay. He doesn't seem, I don't know, I'm confused. Sometimes he's like, this is my girlfriend, it seems like. But then other times he's like, yikers. I don't know.
It's kind of like, you always see the stereotype of like the guy that's super interested in the girl until she's finally like, you're cute, okay. You know, even though it's clearly like weird, almost like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not warranted.
Right.
Like the affection and like coming on, like it's kind of creepy to a certain
I get that.
extent.
Yeah.
Until like, obviously it's like, well, they're meant to be together because the writer can't think of anything else. I kind of like the reversal because it kind of, I don't know, it works a little bit better for their angle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're definitely not a couple that I would have seen getting together because, you know, she's like the weird goth chick and he's like stoic, now GQ.
Well, I mean, Hot Topic and American Eagle Outfitters are right next to one another in the mall.
Oh, that's true.
Things are bound to happen. Let's move on to the next episode, which is the one that you were excited most about since episode 1.
Pisces.
Yeah, or Pisces.
Yeah, that's a
Pisces.
Pisces. Okay, yeah. Sure. Hearing different pronunciations of it, really eye-opening. But yes, I was so excited. I have been waiting for Pisces. As we've mentioned probably in every episode, I am a Pisces. So I've been very excited to get to this one. And I was very excited to see that it was
someone we knew. Yeah, Ran.
Yeah, Ran. It was Ran. And I was very excited for that it wasn't just some rando. I would have been happy if it was some rando. But the fact that it was someone that we had seen before, someone who kicks arguably a lot of ass, I was happy about it.
You know what's really funny is that that was the second member of the Kamen Rider Club. Because her and the other guy from the episode, they became honorary members.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be it, you know, because they have other things that they're taking care of. But it was really funny because when I was like doing research when we first started watching and I like pulled up who Pisces was, I was like, oh, it's the school nurse. Because of that outfit she was wearing that they had on the wiki, I totally forgot myself that it was also Ran. I thought it was like the school nurse for whatever reason. And so like when it came up, I was like, oh shit, yeah. Yeah. I was totally wrong. Because I think I told you it was like some other faculty member.
Yeah. And you told me that I wouldn't be excited about it.
Yeah.
That I would be disappointed.
I didn't even remember that. That's the beauty of it. But
I'm very excited. And I love that Pisces was a member of the Kamen Rider Club. Like it wasn't like some of the other people who totally embraced being a bad guy and were like, I'm here to destroy. She was like, she pressed the switch, even though they were like, which I guess we need to get into that whole long con thing before we really talk about it. But like she was going to fight in Pisces mode as Pisces.
Yeah,
but
her switch was blue. For the greater good.
The good guys.
The greater good.
Yeah, the greater good. She was going to do it for the good guys, for Kamen Rider Club, for Fourze. Like, she was not fighting with Gamou. So, well, she was fighting with Gamou, but
she was not fighting. Yeah,
not
I get what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we need to talk about that whole long con. Like the episode starts out with the principal showing up and being like, "We gotta get out of here. You want a trip to America? Come on!"
Yeah, he's trying to like basically get her away from everybody because he realizes that his loyalty, his wavering loyalty throughout the season is going to be in question once they have the 12th and final switch, which is what Gamou needs to open up the
Dark Nebula
portal to meet the
presenters. Yes. Which I don't know that maybe we can touch on that later, but the presenters thing is a little bit confusing to me because dumb. I feel like we've never heard about it.
It's really like phoned in at the last minute. So Kamen Rider does this a lot.
Okay. Well, maybe you or someone can explain the presenters to me. I mean, I know I've got like one episode or something left, but like
it's not explained in that episode.
Oh,
they're literally never seen. But
it's kind of confusing to me.
It's basically the people that created us, the beings that created life.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that confused
Meet your
me.
maker is like another term for that.
Okay, because that confused me. But anyway, he picks her up and they are driving off in a car, and then Leo appears in front of them and wrecks the car, and Fourze shows up around that time too, and it's revealed that Ran is actually Pisces, and Gamou, Sagittarius, just needs that last Zodiart to open the Dark Nebula. So the principal's like, we've got to keep her from becoming Pisces, or like the world is going to end. And so he's like, Fourze, if you want to save this girl, fight with me. Mm-hmm. And so Forze's like, hell yeah, friendship. And they start fighting against Leo. And
Kango kind of came to the rescue there too, because before he did the handshake, he's like, whoa, we need to talk about this. Pump the brakes.
Yeah, exactly. So Kingo, the handshake was not completed, which I think that's very telling.
Yes.
Maybe that's just me being stupid, but no. All the bad people, the handshake is never completed.
They either dismiss it, like earlier that episode, remember Gamou was making them like some fucking stew?
Yeah.
And like he went to handshake him and he just like,
no. And said, so he's like, I don't need friends, which that should have been a big like red flag right there. Like, I don't need friends, because anyone who says anything anti-friendship in the series
is obviously a villain.
Like a villain. But as usual, I went right over Gen's head, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they start fighting, like they kind of get their asses handed to them, if I remember correctly, even with Libra helping them, the principal helping them. And then Leo disappears and is like, oh no, your betrayal will not be forgotten. And so the principal's like, oh crap. And they take him back to the rabbit hutch. Which I'm like, that was a dumb idea.
Really dumb idea, especially because he's like looking around and asking a bunch of questions. You should be like,
this was blindfold them or do something. Like, come on, y'all. Mm-hmm. But I guess they are teenagers, so they haven't really.
And it's directly on the coattails of Virgo as well.
Yeah.
So they could possibly see we have another like adult ally who's not an idiot like Osugi.
Even though leave him alone.
Osugi, he's an idiot.
He is, but I love him, so leave him alone.
And you basically find out in the end he was fucking with them.
Yeah, they like split up. They go into the chairman's like
office,
red room. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And they think that Libra gets exploded or whatever it was.
Yeah, with one of the Gemini twins.
Yeah.
And he was hiding in like the Men in Black chair.
Yeah, exactly. And so then come to find out, they're trying to track down Rand. They're like, we're gonna hide her so that they don't come after her, and they hang out. They're hanging out. Half the group is hanging out in Miu's like sweet house. Like,
yeah, that's her summer home. That's the small summer home.
Of course, relatable.
But the big thing is that Leo grabs Haru, her friend, and like holds him ransom at the beach. Yeah. Everything happens at the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
And it kind of leads up to that showdown.
Right. Well, so he reveals himself like in this whole fight, like because I'm getting my thoughts jumbled. So Leo had transformed into Aquarius, and like earlier in the episode, and like somehow part of Aquarius's whip got like stuck to Rand, so he was able to find her at Miu's house, and he appears to fuck everything up. And let's see. Meanwhile, it was Ryusei and Gin that were at the chairman's place, so they weren't there to help them. And so they had to run. You look confused. You look like you're not.
No, that's right. You're jumbling it a little bit, but it's yeah, because they got there. Remember, they fought him in the backyard?
Well, yeah, but they ran out into the backyard.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because they're separate. This is like happening simultaneously. Like they're hiding what ran, and then they realize there's a little fish scale whip part, and they're like, oh my God, he can find us. And so they call out to Gin, and they're like, he found us. And so they're like doing the chairman stuff and get that message, and they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so then they run outside, and they're trying to hide Rand still. And then they all come together in the park, that like outdoor sculpture garden thing. And that's where it's revealed that Libra was doing the long con on them.
No, that was revealed at the beach when he shows up. Remember, he shows up as Fourze. And Hayami wasn't revealed then because they're fighting him back in Miyu's backyard, right? He wasn't even there. But when they get to the beach, when Leo steals Haru, Fourze comes walking up to help Ran, who's fighting Leo, and then Fourze attacks her, and she's like, "What?" And then Fourze turns into Libra, and Libra, that's when he reveals that he's been. Do you remember that?
No.
He literally he did his disguise thing as Fourze.
I remember him walking up to her.
That was at the beach.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when Fourze showed up after they beat up her and took her switch from her.
Yeah.
And then they were fighting, and then that's when Gamou shows up to do his 12 switch ritual summoning circle.
Yeah.
And then what happened at the end of that?
I don't know, apparently.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, what happened at the end of that?
I don't know. Because apparently all my memories are mixed up, so I don't know.
Well, that's why I don't like the Pisces episode, is because it's like literally 1,000 things happen and none of it really matters. You know, like it's like these, like the Yuki Gemini one, like it had kind of nice
continuity or something.
Yeah, and then like it gets to this and it's like we're in like the last 10 episodes. We shouldn't be having like a first arc, random bullshit episode going on. Like, I don't know. I just really didn't like it because it ends so like suddenly too, with Gamou getting all 12 of his switches, and then he's summoning the Dark Nebula. Yeah. And that's when they find out Kengo, who had like found a USB in Emado's office that was addressed to him in like a moon box.
I remember that.
Moon rock box. Finds out that like when he summons the Dark Nebula, around him, like the portal to the presenters, that's when he'll be able to be, defeated because he'll have no power. And so Fourze goes to slice him, and that's when Libra, Hayami, jumps in and dies for Gamou. And he's like, if that wasn't your friend, what was that thing? And then that's when Kengo freaks out because he's like, I don't have any friends. And Kengo goes, what the fuck?
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. And that's basically the end of that episode.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we watched that one kind of late too. The Pisces. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
It's okay.
I just feel like we were like really sticking on that episode for a really long time when I'm just like, yeah, it's just like none of those little details matter, like in the long run. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But then we get to the last two episodes. The Pisces episode, the two of them were right before the finale.
Right.
And it's like, you shouldn't be doing this with your finale arc.
Right.
I don't know.
This should already been kind of wrapped up, I guess.
Yeah. Like, it could have been cool if she like was previously one or something.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, like she's like had the switch. I don't know. It was kind of messy.
It was a little bit messy. I understand. I mean, I like the idea of like, we need our final person to complete this. So that makes sense for her to show up at the end. But I feel like they're just overloading with like a lot of stuff. Like, Kingo's the core child. Kingo is this. Kingo is that. And this is how his dad actually died. And also,
they keep
here's
changing
some
the story.
Character reveals. Here's like 20 character reveals at the same time. And
I'm going to just tell you, that's how sloppy a lot of Kamen Rider ending is. Yes. Oh. When you said that you were a Kamen Rider fan, I was like, well, wait till you get, burned a couple times by the end of these shows. Okay. They're very messy. Sometimes you can get... The nice thing about watching it live is week to week, you forget a lot of the bullshit that happens. Okay. It just kind of all like sums up in your head, and that's why I don't remember Pisces at all. Yeah. It's because like I literally took the main information from those episodes was, okay, he tries to summon the Dark Nebula, Kango shows up. Like literally the last 5 minutes of that episode, and I threw away the rest because it's like it doesn't matter.
Right.
It really like doesn't matter in the long run of the show. But then we watched episode 47, The Parting of Friends.
Yeah.
Tell us about that one.
Well, so Kango starts acting weird as of the very last episode, like the end of the Pisces episode, because he's realized that he is something more than just Kango, and it all kind of like
meets the eye.
Yeah. He's a transformer.
Oh no.
He realized that he, for lack of a better word, is the core switch. Like, which by the way, I really love how the core switch looks. Like, it's really pretty. It's really like, I just really like how the core switch looks. It's my favorite switch, just as an aside.
Your favorite switch that birthed your least favorite character?
I will say that, and I'm still gonna say that. And I really, really sincerely apologize to any Kango fans out there.
Kango stands.
Well, anyone that, you know, was hoping that I would change my opinion about him. I just, he never clicked with me. I never really cared for Kango, and I do apologize if that upsets anyone. Like, please don't be mad at me. I know.
leave us a comment if you are a Kango fan, because I don't think, talking to like a handful of people about Fourze, I've ever met anybody that's just like, I love Kango.
Well, I was really worried about offending anyone who does like Kango or is like, she doesn't get any of this, because I still don't like him by the end.
Kango sucks.
He does. He's still that guy that threw someone's love letter in some gross water to me, and
JK
I don't think
and
he'll ever
Kango
recover.
suck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did we talk about that whole episode where like all the friends have to abandon? Like, because they all go missing. Like, he says that was like back in the Virgo.
Yeah, that was the Tachibana Virgo episode. Again, you know, those little things. But JK's like first one out.
Yeah,
Bye,
he
guys.
was like, oh, I was hoping someone would say it. And even he calls himself out. He's like, I thought I would be the first one to leave. And I'm like, yeah, everyone did.
Yeah, because he was having trouble with the core switch. Or, I mean, the cosmic switch.
Yeah,
and it wasn't until like he accepted the fact that it's not about their friendship with him. It's about his friendship with them.
Yeah.
That he can control that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah, moment. Jake is, I knew.
JK's off
I'm like,
on his
there's
own
still going to be,
dancing.
I'm like, there's going to be another opportunity for him to abandon ship. And big surprise, he did. Everyone else went sadly, and he was like smiling, well, guess I'm going too.
Yeah, Osugi had to talk him up.
But he comes back. But anyway, that was way back at the beginning. But anyway, back to Kango.
Kango as the core switch, baby.
I mean, it makes sense. Not that I don't think that a baby coming from a switch makes sense. That is something.
Yes, please eliminate that
I love everything about Fourze. I will say that. I'll start out by saying I love everything about
You're
Fourze.
a Fourze apologist.
I am. Like, I can defend pretty much everything about Fourze. This is probably the first plot element that I'm not buying it.
Don't care for.
I don't care for it. I think it's kind of phoned in, kind of weird. And again, I am so sorry if this is something you love about Fourze. And please don't light me up. Like, if I'm butchering something that you love about it, I'm really sorry.
I'll take the hit. If you guys want to light someone up, I agree with Laur. The core switch thing is dumb.
I'm down for him being the embodiment of the core switch. I like that.
You just don't like the process in which it happened.
Yeah, like when it showed.
The core switch had a baby, which was on the moon. And so then Virgo had a change of heart and brought him to Earth to be raised alone.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like that. I think it's just too weird. Again, it's just them throwing too much at us. Like it's like they realized that like there are 2 episodes left. And now they're going to throw all
everything
this stuff
at
everything that they were like, well, we forgot to work this in and we didn't do this, but we definitely want to make sure it makes it in. You know, I just feel like they're throwing way too much at the audience at this point.
What did you call Fourze in the first episode of Tokusatsu Girlfriend? Your moon prince?
The one true moon prince. And I stand by that.
No,
I stand by it.
The true prince, the only person born on the moon right now, is Kango. So Kango's the true moon prince.
He is not. He is not. And I will fight anyone who calls Kango that.
But he comes to terms with being the only thing that can go and meet the presenters. And so he needs the Fourze belt.
Yeah. And I hate how I didn't think that it was possible for me to dislike Kango anymore until he wakes up and they're like, oh, ever since he woke up, he's been staring at Earth. And he was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm here for that. And then he comes back and he's like this soulless, like robot thing. Like he's just like
more than usual.
Like he's always been kind of stoic, cold, standoffish, and now he's just like, I'm just a or what was he calling himself? Like a specimen or something like that? A sample. That's what it was. He's like, I'm just a sample. Everything that I've encountered here was just a sample. Everything is a sample. And I'm just like, this is stupid. He's acting super weird. Is he really acting this way? I think I even mentioned something to you. I'm like, he just seems like an edgelord who's trying to like be like,
he's an edgelord who works at Sam's
He's
Club,
like, I'm a nihilist. Samples. I don't care about anything now. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I don't like this. Like, did something happen? I'm like, well, yeah, he did, I guess, reawaken as the core switch. So maybe this is just how he is now. Is like, now that he's reawakened as the core switch, he kind of lost all those human emotions and everything. Mm-hmm. And then when Yuki and Gen go to visit him at his apartment, that's what he says. It's like, when I awakened as the core switch, I lost all my human emotions. And so I'm like, okay, I get it.
Shit, boy.
I was like, all right, I still don't care for this, but that makes sense that he did reawaken as a switch. So yeah, it makes sense that he lost all of this. But then later on in the episode, he admits, he was like, well, I'm a sample, so I might as well act like a sample. And I'm like, I knew it. He was just acting this whole time. And I'm like, I didn't like that. I thought it was cheesy and dumb.
I get where he was coming from, that he wanted them not to be as sad for him leaving as he was.
Yeah.
And I totally get shielding someone like that, but it was just kind of weird.
It was weird, and it just seemed dumb and like cringy on his part. Like if you were really in that situation, which I mean, I guess why would you ever find yourself in a situation where your friend is born on the moon from a switch? But
hey, don't knock my high school experience.
I'm sorry, that was insensitive.
Meanwhile, the whole time that this is going on,
the whole time that they're like having this heart to heart with Kengo,
the Rabbit Hutch has a visitor.
It's Leo.
Whatever his real name is,
I can't remember.
Yeah, no one cares.
And so he comes in and he like completely like, well, honestly, he doesn't. In the end, he decimates the Rabbit Hutch, but Ryusei puts up a pretty good
it was great
fight.
So does Usagi for like that second.
I screamed when he grabbed him and he was like, don't touch the students.
He thought he was going to like suplex or throw him.
It looked
like
he was going to throw Leo. And I was like, if this is his shining moment, like if
no, he never gets one really.
No, he throws himself. He literally throws himself.
He played himself.
He did. I was screaming though. I was so excited. You can vouch. I literally was screaming when he was like,
I totally thought this was going to be his moment too, but I'm like, I don't remember him doing anything cool.
He throws himself. He throws himself to the ground, and I'm just like, oh, that's the. How do you say his name? This whole time I've still never learned how to say his name. Sugi. Yeah, Sugi throws himself to the ground, and I'm like,
said it.
Yay!
And then Leo destroys the Rabbit Hutch for the most part.
Yeah, and Mew tries to get a hold again, and I'm like, that's the bad bitch I know. Mm-hmm. And then Leo was like, I'm coming for you.
And then finally, Gen, Yuki, and Kengo show up.
Well, yeah, that's later, but I want to touch on something. Imagine being Tomo, watching your boyfriend fight like that. Man.
Getting his ass kicked, you mean?
No! What?
He got his ass kicked.
Well, in the end, but I'm talking about Ryusei before he transformed into Meteor, and he was going toe-to-toe pretty effortlessly with...
But that guy was also on Transform, too.
But still, and
they had a little backstory where he's like fucking Brad Pitt in Fight Club or some shit.
Yes, it was like Gamou came to me, and I'm just like,
gave me a new life.
What is this?
They have to put everything in the last episodes because they basically dragged their feet the whole time.
Look, I'm just saying I'm excited for Tomo. Like imagine being in the Rabbit Hutch and watching your GQ boyfriend just tear ass against this guy.
You don't have to imagine too far.
Oh.
But
I'm just saying I'm excited for her, and I want to express how excited for Tomo I am. But anyway, yeah, the three come back because I guess Miyu didn't actually make contact. She was just trying to. So they come back.
Osugi.
And they run into Osugi outside, which what was he doing? Was he trying to find them or was he fleeing?
Probably both.
Both.
If we know Osugi. Well, he does have like that sort of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Merit of.
Yeah. He's really changed a lot, I feel.
Yes.
But they run into him outside, and he looks battered. Like you mentioned, he lost his suspender.
Broken, mom spaghetti.
And he was just like, oh my gosh, the Rabbit Hutch was attacked. And they go in there, and it has been. And then they see their friends all huddled in a corner and they're like, oh my gosh. And then for dramatic effect, the door slides open and there's Gamou. And then they throw Ryusei out too. Like the whole thing was done for dramatic effect.
Yeah, they're just
I like
hiding.
to think about them being like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
Oh, they're coming.
We're gonna, yeah, like
it's like a birthday party.
They come up with this plan, like this is gonna look really cool. So we're gonna have the rabbit hutch destroyed, and all their friends are gonna be huddled in a corner, except Ryusei, because he's Meteor, and we're gonna be hiding around the corner. And when they come in and they're like, what happened? The door is gonna open and we're gonna come out, and then I want you to throw Ryusei in front of them. And we'll make our big reveal. Okay, good. And
everybody got it?
Yeah. And that's just how I imagine it went down.
It was stupid.
Kind of was. But yeah, so they come in and then Gamou's there and he immediately tries to fire. Well, he gives this little monologue about how I'm the chosen one, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets shut down by Kingo, who's like, you don't get it. You were never chosen for anything, which... That is my favorite Kingo line. I'll say that. I was like, I like this little sauce boy now, but not
He's
really.
got a
It
good
didn't last long.
Next episode.
So he's like, you weren't chosen for shit, dude. And then Sagittarius, Gamou gets mad and fires an arrow at him, and it completely like bounces off of him. Like he's just like, nope, see, I told you. And I'm like, oh, maybe like Kingo really is like the chosen one, for lack of a better word. Like, he took that arrow, no problem. Like it disintegrated against him like he has a force field. So I was like, oh, okay, this is really promising.
Then the vacuum to space opens up and everyone's getting sucked out and not dying.
Yeah, that's exactly. And they have time to run out. Except I do have a grievance.
Ryusei's like, hey, JK, take Tomo.
He hands Tomo off to the least capable person, the person most likely to turn tail and sacrifice someone else. He's like, take my girlfriend, look after her. I was like, come on, Ryusei, you're better than that. You're smarter than that. But anyway, they all make their escape. And I noticed that Kingo, before Yuki leaves, hands her like a paper, like puts a piece of paper in her hand. So I'm wondering.
It was a note that he was writing earlier in the episode.
Okay, so I'm hoping that we see that. I'm sure we will. Okay. The look on your face, it must be a good one. And so then he's like, it's time to, end this. So they get out on the moon.
Well, Fourze's already fighting out there, and then Kengo just walks out because that was something at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
He takes his helmet off and he can like just glow and breathe in space.
Yeah, and he can. So that's like his thing. He doesn't need a suit. So they go out there. And the Meteor, I love that whole like transition or whatever.
Meteor
like it's
comes
Fourze,
in thing.
Yeah, it's like Fourze looking at Kingo, glowing Kingo, and then in the middle of them, Meteor appears. And I loved that shot. Oh, it was so pretty. I loved that shot of the three of them. And then he like uses his like force field to shield them so that they can have like this kind of final exchange because
final moment.
Kingo needed the
Fourze driver.
Yeah, the Fourze driver.
So he can use the core switch to open up the portal.
And at this point, I'm like, this is going to be amazing. We are going to see him like devastate everything. They have this beautiful exchange where Fourze gives him the belt and is like, you can do it. And
him and Meteor jump back into the rabbit hutch.
Yeah, and he's like, get him, because here comes Sagittarius. He's like, screw you, I'm going to end this. And Kango's got the same energy of screw you, I'm going to end this. And after seeing that display back in the rabbit hutch where he fires the arrow and nothing happens to him, I'm like, man, once he gets that driver on and he transforms, like...
Shit, watch out, bitch.
This is going to be insane.
No. You get kicked to death.
Immediately. Like...
What would you expect? Would you expect any less from Kengo?
No, I wouldn't. He is a disappointment to the end.
Yeah. He kind of sucks.
And I even looked over at you and I was like, that was so anticlimactic.
But that's because it's going to lead into the last episode, which we are actually going to go watch right now because you haven't seen it yet.
No, I have not.
And do you have any last thoughts on the episodes?
Yes, I do, but I don't want to say it because I know that I was supposed to embrace Kingo's character by the end of this. So I don't want people to be like, she didn't get any of Fourze. She didn't get it, but...
It's probably because you're a girl.
Yeah, why
Girls
don't you
don't watch
mansplain some
Tokusatsu
more to me?
But we actually, if you guys are listening to this, we have a special version that we put out of the podcast for Patreon only. And usually we have an after show where we like do questions, we do whatever. Sometimes we talk about things that we're going to be doing, like kind of like fun podcast style. But this after show is going to be a separate one that we are going to go record right now because we're going to go record our live reaction to the last episode. So yeah, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about that. So if you guys aren't on Patreon, that's fine. The episode will resume in just a second. But if you are, there is a separate one that you might want to pause and listen to that first. We'll have it timed up and queued for you guys so you can watch with us.
Squall will. I'll have nothing to do with this.
Lauren just sits here and eats animal crackers. Thank you, Patreon.
Thank you for the animal crackers. I do love them.
We'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
All right, we are back. We just finished the final episode. Lauren, are you okay?
No, I'm not.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was so good.
I don't even know where to start with it. It's easily top 5 favorite Kamen Rider endings. It's so pure. A lot of people want something very extravagant or very epic to happen. And I feel that's just not what Fourze is and what Fourze never really was. It was about this connection between the people and the actions that other people have and how it kind of sets you on a path.
Right.
And how do you better yourself by not, holding it over their heads and like,
of course,
this is such a perfect ending.
It is.
It's so Kamen Rider Fourze.
I mean, I don't really have any other Kamen Rider endings to compare it to or anything like that. The only other Tokusatsu series I finished is Shinkenger, so I only have that ending to compare it to.
Right.
Comparatively, I didn't dislike Shinkenger's ending, but I like this ending infinitely more. Which is saying a lot, because like I said, I did like Shinkenger's ending. There were some things that I was like, whatever, but this isn't about Shinkenger. This is about Fourze.
Right.
And I infinitely loved this ending more. Like, it's going to be hard to top as far as any other Kamen Rider.
Yeah, it does have a very good ending. Wow. Yeah, so basically the whole episode, they get out of the rabbit hutch before it explodes, before it's completely destroyed forever.
Which was insane. Why did that have to happen? I understand why it had to happen, but I'm just like, oh my God, there it goes. Like, it really helps kind of like
solidify
make things
the ending.
hit home for you and realize like this is the end, It kind of kicks that whole ball into motion of getting you to realize like this is the last episode. This is the end. Like, it's kind of like in Harry Potter when in book 7, which spoiler if you haven't read that in the last 10 20 million years that it came out, like when Hedwig dies like in the very beginning of book 7, and it's kind of like
how is he gonna get his mail?
Yeah, I was worried. But it's kind of like that same idea of where it's like it kind of kicks everything into effect for you, like this is the end. Things are gonna happen, things that might not
go the
fixed.
Way you want it to.
Yeah. And that's kind of what seeing the rabbit hutch get blown up was like for me. Like, this is the end.
And it kind of hits a little bit closer to home than Kengo dying even. Because it's like, this is, Kamen Rider always has, even like Shinkenger has like their base. Like this set. So when that set is gone, like Shinkenger kind of has a similar moment when Ryunosuke does his parting ways dance.
Yeah.
And they're all there for the last time together.
Oh, don't get me started on my boy.
One at a time they disappear and the room becomes empty.
Yeah.
And G even is just like, has the room always been this big?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, you take a huge element out of it. Like Rabbit Hutch, of course, you blow it up. But like they always do something like that where it's kind of like a goodbye to this. I think there's just a handful that don't because it kind of has more story to go along with there.
That was it. And I don't know. I think that throughout the series, you kind of learn to associate the rabbit hutch with a place where they could just come to be friends.
Safe place.
It's a safe place. Yeah. Like, you never thought anyone would find it, first of all. And then second of all, it was like a safety zone until, of course, it got infiltrated.
Comes in first. Remember? Osaki finds out about it.
But like, it was a place for them, I felt like, where they could be their most normal. Like, yeah, that's where they were working on switches and like, Fourze would train there.
Right.
But overall, I felt like it was a place where they could finally come and just be friends together, kind of be like normal teenagers, if that makes sense at all. Like, it, so many times we saw them like just like hanging out there, or like they'd get takeout and bring food back there. Like, it was just a place for them to maybe like.
It was their place.
Yeah, it was their place. It was their home. Like, it was their base, but it was their home where they could come and be friends together. And then to see that destroyed, it was really, really upsetting.
Well, by an extension, it was Kengo's father's home because that's where he died. That's again, I want to know what they did with the body.
Yeah.
But that was literally Kengo's home too. Right. Kengo and Yuki lived there. Like that was like their own secret place that kept getting opened up to more and more people. And Kengo, like even in the beginning episodes, doesn't want people there, but it's for the better. Like they all were a family there. Right. And it's just kind of like, you know, like when you move from your first family home, if you ever have, it's a sad moment.
It is.
You know, you never get to be there again. Like I've moved plenty of times and it's still like has a sting, you know?
I lived in the same house like my whole life until I turned 18 and I moved away. And now where we're currently living, we live like 10 minutes away from my old house, if that. And it's so weird, you know, every now and then, not often, we will drive by it. And it's just so weird to see that house and be like, that is literally where I grew up. And now I can't even go back inside of it.
Yeah, because Gamou blew it up.
He did, yeah.
What about that ending fight? Ryusei versus Leo?
Oh my gosh.
Gentaro versus Gamou?
I was very excited to see Leo go because as Patreon knows, Leo is my least favorite horoscope of the actual horoscopes. And then it was good to see like the Zodiart horoscope.
Right. Yeah.
Finally meet his end and get like just completely taken down by Ryusei. Like that was a good fight too. Like he literally kicked him out of his transformation and just that was great. I was very happy to see it. I loved the theatrics of the whole fight. Like first,
they're just like fucking tricking on them. They're just they're
stunting on those hoes. Like they're straight up. The first like 2 minutes of the fight are specifically just for stunts and tricks. Like I'm like, who are they attacking? They're not. They're literally just taking their bikes off of jumps while explosions happen behind them. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm here for it.
No,
I thought it was
awesome.
lovely and wonderful. And it was great. I loved it. It helped the theatrics of the fight.
You can tell like the beginning of the shows and the end of the shows, they definitely have an uptick in budget.
Yeah.
So they definitely used it with the graphics and the explosions and everything. And what went through your head when Fourze grabbed Gamou after doing his boss rush of power-ups?
He went through all of them. Although we didn't see the fire, did we?
Yes, we did.
Oh, he switched to fire?
He did Eric, and then he switched to fire and was
my bad. And
then he did Magnet, and then he did Cosmic, and then Cosmic, instead of warping him to space, what went through your head when he warped him to the gym?
What? Why are we here?
Yeah, you start seeing everybody.
Well, I had completely forgotten that he had told the friends, like, I'm going to need you guys for something else.
Yep.
And so when he warped him back to the gym and you were just like, wait, watch it. And I was just like, okay. And then he unhinges, which I was like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. But then behind them on the stage, they had fixed the Kamen Rider Club banner that they took before it blew up. And Yuki was like, this is your graduation ceremony, Chairman Gamou. We are graduating from you. And I'm just like, the library is open. It's time to read him. And that's what they do. Well, Kisaragi, I've never called him that. Well,
Kisaragi!
Well, Gin just starts unloading on him, untransformed, mind you.
Yeah.
Just starts like
a bad bitch he is.
Yeah, just starts beating him senseless. One by one, the members of the Kamen Rider Club step up and say like what they learned from him and how they're going to take what he did and it's going to make them stronger as people. It was very like a more dramatic and more meaningful version of the Breakfast Club, like how at the end they read that letter about like, you want us to write a letter about who we think we are. Well, this is who we are, and this is why you suck. Yeah, it was like that, except more meaningful, and I liked it.
Tokusatsu always does this thing at the end, like the last episodes, where they do a civilian fight, like Shinkenger did one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Where they all fought, even if it was only for a couple seconds. I know, like there's a Kamen Rider excels at those moments.
I loved it.
Yeah,
oh man, it was so good.
And you get to finally see like how physical that Gentaro's actor really was, because like a lot of these guys, like I speak leaps and bounds about Gaim's actor. Guy who played him is athletic parkour as fuck, and he never once gets like maybe like 2 episodes where they give him like 10 seconds to do something. Yeah. you know, it's kind of like JK breakdancing. Like that actor's really good at breakdancing.
Yeah.
And so he does it literally every time he can because that's all he's really good at. But like they cast these really physical guys who are good for Kamen Rider and they never have him do anything physical.
Well, there was one point where Gen's actor like does like a backflip and I was just like, oh my Holy crap. God, he's so good. And so I love that. The shade of it all, of them in the background, like reading him to filth while Gen kicks his ass. I'm just like the duality of that, like the combined efforts. I was here for it and it worked, surprising no one.
God, that transformation though with the music swelling.
Oh yeah. And them all behind him, like counting down with him, you know, 3, 2, 1.
It's the best transformation in the whole show.
It really is. My only regret about that one scene, and I get while he wasn't there, I just really wish Ryusei could have been there just because I'm someone that likes the whole gang together, you know. But I get why he wasn't there, but whatever. And so I loved him, you know, delivering that final blow, that final attack. And then he stayed true to Kingo's note. Which I don't think we even talked about. I think we went straight into the rabbit hutch blowing up. But
oh my gosh, can I tell you something about? Okay, so the scene where they're reading Kengo's note, that was the very last day on set.
Yeah.
They, Yuki's actress kept messing up her lines because she knew as soon as she finished it, that was it. So she kept, you know, messing it up so that they could be together longer.
That speaks volumes, like about her actress in a good way. Like. Yes. I know a lot of people have troubles like differentiating the actor from the character, but I feel like a lot of these actors in a lot of ways embodied their character, you know, like I feel like that is so Yuki, like that is a very Yuki thing to do.
And when you know that too, and then Kengo starts speaking over her, you think maybe they didn't actually get a good take out of it.
Right. They're like, okay, we've got to wrap this up.
And that's like the thing, like a lot of those like unsolved mysteries, you know, like reenactments. You can tell how good or bad the reenactment actor is because if they're talking, they're like, so I'm here at the diner ordering some pancakes, and then the narrator cuts in over them.
Pancakes sound good.
I know. But if like the narrator, if anybody else talking overcuts what's happening in the scene, that's literally explaining the same thing that they're explaining, you can tell how bad of an actor they are, or they didn't get a good take.
Wow.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to tell you one more kind of sad, fascinating thing about this episode.
You might as well lay it on me.
What's the theme of Fourze?
Friendship.
Well, like the actual theme.
Moon.
Space.
Close enough.
Space and the moon, right?
Moon, friendship.
Do you know who died the day that this episode aired? Neil Armstrong.
Oh, no way.
He died the exact day that this episode aired.
Do you think there's a correlation? I'm joking.
It's just like I don't know. I think about that a lot. I think about just that in general.
He was so upset about Fourze ending. He was like, fuck it, I'm going to space.
He jettisoned out of life.
Yeah, that's what happened. He went to go meet the presenters. He's like, don't worry, Chairman Gamou. I'll go meet the prisoners. And that's where he went. I probably shouldn't be making jokes about someone that died. I'm sorry. That's insensitive.
There's an extra episode of Fourze where they meet the presenters and they don't know how to use... Yeah, they don't know how to use PowerPoint at all.
Oh.
I had you
Stop it. Stop it. That's terrible.
But yeah, and then of course Gamou.
Mm-hmm. He befriends him.
He does. Well, Gentara befriends him.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He befriends. Yeah, he that's how I got off on that tangent about Kingo's note. Was Kingo at the end of his note was like, "Don't hate the chairman. Hate doesn't suit you," which I'm like, powerful. That's so true.
Words, yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. And it showed me that Kingo really did grasp the full like everything. Like he got it.
Yes,
he got it.
He didn't show it very often, but he got it.
I think at the end he got it.
Let's talk about the end. What happens? Gamou.
So he does his final move on him, and it doesn't like kill him, but it like he's won the battle, as in Gen has won the battle.
And I think that's kind of like the message that they're getting through to him is it doesn't matter how many times it's going to take. We're going to keep doing this, and everyone's going to reboot, like get rid of this.
And I think it finally hit the chairman, the error of his ways. And, Kingo.
The arrow of his ways?
The error. The arrow. Oh, I get it.
Little puns.
I love it. Gen, has this like final like little monologue to him about like, I'm going to befriend you now. And I love that the chairman's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Kisaragi Gintaro, the man that's going to befriend everyone at this school.
Anamagawa High.
And he does. And then they do their official handshake. They seal the deal. And then what?
They seal the deal.
The friendship deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as they do, he I don't know, he gets that aura about him. And it looks like he gets seriously hurt. The chairman, I mean. And he seems very weak afterwards. So it's almost like friendship, killed the last, bad part of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, promise me you guys will go into space and you'll meet the presenter since I never could. And of course, again, it's like, yes, of course we will. And it's a really nice ending. They didn't just kill him and they're like, we won. It was like
we killed the bastard.
Yeah. It was like we defeated you.
We defeated the evil within you. We defeated the desire.
That's a good way to put it.
Because when I first saw this episode, I was kind of like, I liked it, but I'm also like, that's really dumb. He would just keep going. But then watching it again with you, it made me realize that, especially when he was talking to Kengo's father, that Kengo's father wanted to develop the Fourze system to meet the presenters.
Yeah.
Kengo was going to be the owner of that.
Uh-huh.
He said, that's going to take too long. We are going to be, we're not going to have in our lifetime to be able to do this. And with that, it really makes me realize that maybe he knew doing the whole switches thing that he was on limited time.
Yeah, that was such a good way to put it, is that they defeated the evil within him. Mm-hmm. And now he kind of sees the error of his ways and everything.
Kind of brings him back to the who he was before the whole situation.
Kind of refocused him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he realizes exactly what Kengo's dad was coming with, that it's not necessarily about them. It's about empowering the generation after to go further. You know what I mean? And that's kind of showed in the ways of him repairing the course switch.
Yeah, because at the very end, they are standing at that same bridge that we saw at the very beginning of the series.
Where you're so salty about Kengo throwing the letter.
Yeah, where I said, Kengo will never come back from this for me. And they've got Kengo's letter. And I even
literally
said,
comes back from death
if you are a Patreon and you watched that, if you listen to that episode that we live watched, I guess you could say, then you know that I was like, there's the water right there. You have the chance to throw his letter in the water. And he goes to do it. Gen goes to do it. And I'm like, yes. And then Kengo shows up and I was like, what a terrible thing to do.
What kind of an idiot would do this?
And I'm like, oh.
He's learned.
He has learned. Speaking of seeing the error of his ways, enter Kengo, scene left. And I'm just like, okay, he has learned. And he's like, that's a stupid thing to do. That's someone's feelings. You need to consider that. And I'm like, thank you. Applause, applause, applause. He has learned. He has redeemed himself. He's got his little keychain that they made for his birthday on his backpack. And he's just like, yeah, I don't know what happened. I woke up in my room. Things are good. Oh, wait. Yes, I do know what happened. It must have been the chairman. And then we see that the chairman did repair the switch or whatever. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm gathering, is that he was reborn as a human now. There's no core switch about him. He's just a normal teenager now.
Well, the thing
right?
is that the core switch, he was accessible to it. He was ready and willing to do what he needed to do. And that fixed all of his problems.
Okay.
And so I feel like that's the same thing, is that the core switch was activated and he's now good to go again.
Yeah.
But you can tell that he's definitely changed.
He's a
more
changed
open
man.
because they do the Uchu Kita. And
he does it. He does it with him. Yeah, I said he was reborn with that stick taken out of his ass.
And then the very last scenes is everybody...
kind of like an epilogue scene. What's going on with them. We see
Osugi taking over.
And he does he pops his suspenders and I love it. And my favorite teacher is back.
The pink one.
The pink one. No, not him. I don't know who that guy is. I'm talking about Clip Clop. I don't know what her name is, but I call her that.
Clip Clop, yeah.
she's cool. I love her. And I'm glad that she's a member of the staff. She seems a lot happier now, so I'm happy for her. I'm happy about that in general. We see Ryusei and Jake and Tomo. And Ryusei is going back to his school. That's the one thing that I don't like. I understand, but you know me, I think I even said it in this episode. I like everyone to stay together. And
well, he's only there, remember, because of the switch thing.
I know. But he should just transfer. All of his friends are there. He's got so much history. Just transfer and be friends. That is what I like.
You probably don't know what his commute is like.
Well, I don't care what his commute is like.
Oh, I do.
It's not worth it. It is worth it. So I'm just so like passionate and worked up. That's the one thing that I don't like. I just want everyone to stay together and be friends and for everything to be perfect, happy ending. So I was like, don't go back to your school. And then Tomo's like, so what about your girlfriend? And he was like, oh, that chick? Nah, she's not my girlfriend. And then Tomo's like, oh.
She exudes lovey.
Yeah.
It's like witch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds gross.
I'm like, cast your magic love spell, girl. You got this. And then he walks off. And
I think the part of this episode you cried like the most at was when Shun proposed to Miu.
Look,
you hate the guy, and you still cried a little bit when he proposed.
Cried a little bit.
I cried a lot.
I wailed like, and you were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm crying." I'm a sucker for proposals.
I know.
Fun fact about me: I want to be a wedding planner. Like that's what I want to do with my life. Except that I can't get through a proposal or anything like that without crying. So, as soon as he proposed to her, I lost it. I was like, I was literally boo-hooing it up, and I was so happy. And then that's Kamen Rider Harry, right? That we see.
Yeah, that's Wizard.
Yeah, Kamen Rider Wizard.
His like gimmick is rings.
Yeah, it looked like a ring pop or something.
Yeah, they're fucking dumb. And
so Miu's like, what? That one's better. And I'm like, come on, girl.
Like, Shun bought you a diamond. I know you live in
Several.
the fucking like, I don't know, museum for a house.
Yeah.
Like, God damn.
Come on, focus on the real thing at hand. That giant rock of a ring that you've got now, girl.
Shun's actor wasn't in Gantz like Kamen Rider Harry is.
Oh, well, I didn't like him in Gantz, so.
Yeah, he was kind of a pussy.
He was kind of a jerk.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No, he sacrificed his life to save old man and all of them.
I'm thinking of him. Oh,
you're thinking of the dickbag kid. Yeah.
I'm thinking of the bad kid.
No, he played.
No, you're right. No, okay, I take it back. Oh my gosh,
kid.
I'm so sorry. No, I did love Kamen Rider Harry and Gantz. Never mind. I'm so sorry. I got his character mixed up.
What is that sentence? What? I loved Kamen Rider Harry and Gantz.
It's lore speak. Leave me alone.
And then the final scene in the whole show is. The Kamen Rider Club.
Oh yeah, and they've put back their little flag, and they're all there. And Gin announces their next goal, which is they're going to befriend the aliens. And I'm just like, you, Kisaragi Gintaro, are my best friend. Like, you're my favorite person to ever exist, and I love you.
That's why I thought that he was gonna like have a cameo or something in Build, because Build has to do with like Martians and aliens.
Oh, okay.
Shit like that, like very small. Like there are things that happen with that, and I was like, oh, Gintaro.
Well,
or something.
I'm just, I love the ending. The only way I could love it more is if Ryusei was like, I'm gonna stay at your school now.
I'm proposing to you too.
Yeah. And if they were all like, we're gonna stay together as friends forever and ever and ever.
But that's the beauty of it, is that it's very realistic.
I know.
Where Shun and Miu are finally getting on with their life. Ryusei is going back to his school because he's probably, like flunked a couple of classes now.
At this point, yeah.
And I don't know, it works.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the fact that they didn't extend it or try to over exaggerate it too much. Even bringing Kengo back wasn't too obnoxious of them.
And they did it because like they reformed the chairman. Like that was kind of like, I felt, to me, that read as like his last act.
His last act on Earth and in life is a good one.
Yeah.
And I love that. Yeah. But that was Kamen Rider Fourze.
I loved it so much. It's going to be a hard act to follow. That was incredible, and I loved it.
Well, we are going to be doing that stream here in a day or two.
I'm so excited.
About season 2, what we're gonna watch. Yeah, gosh, I'm excited. I
am too. I'm so excited.
I know that we can't completely get perfect seasons every time, and I'm just kind of worried for the first one that you're kind of maybe not interested in, you know. But there are so many good ones out there. Build is multifaceted. It's beautiful characters. It's great. Kamen Rider or Gokaiger, Kamen Rider Gokaiger. Gokaiger, I know you'll just have a lot of fun with it just because it's a nonsensical, stupid fun. And every episode is just, what the fuck did I watch? And it's great. And the characters are wonderful too. Like, there's so many good things out there for us to watch. Like, in terms of Sentai, Gokaiger's great. Tokyuger, I think you'll be bawling by the end of it.
Oh my goodness.
Like, if Fourze hit you like that, Tokyuger, like, I bawl. I'm like kind of tearing up just thinking about the ending.
I can see
you. It's perfect. That is the best Tokusatsu ending ever.
Oh wow.
It's Tokyuger. So maybe we might save that one. But there's just so much out there for us to watch. And I'm so excited.
I am too. Gosh, I'm so excited.
And I'm glad that we have you guys here as well.
Yes, we literally could not do this. Like,
we still might, but it's fun to like kind of air it out. It's fun to talk about it and have people listen. And
I'm so thrilled that everyone is on this ride with us.
So thank you guys for being here.
Yes, thank you so much.
And
genuinely.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed season 1 of Tokusatsu Girlfriend.
I hope it wasn't too obnoxious for you guys.
We'll be back with whatever show is picked here, and we'll start that as soon as possible.
Hey,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Bye.